Jason Smith. And Mr. Chairman, thanks very much for being here this morning. Give us your assessment and reaction this morning.
It's great to be with you, Maria. Political violence is unacceptable or should never be tolerated in the United States. The fact that President Trump has now witnessed the third occasion where someone has tried to threaten his life is unacceptable. But I have to say, I am so thankful for the good work that the Secret Service did in containing that perimeter, protecting the president. But our president, I was talking to Secretary Mullen after this event and hearing the composure and the leadership of our president. And you saw what he did in the press conference. Yeah. He wanted the show to go on.
Yes, he did.
He wanted to go back on the stage, but there was 31 points of entry that had to be safeguarded and protected in order for him to do that. But he wanted to speak to the American people. That's why he went and did the press conference, so he could take questions.
That's absolutely right. And I spoke with him this morning, and he also exhibited that calm and solid leadership, hands on the wheel. And he told me he wanted to go back in, but the Secret Service advised not to, that it was very difficult to secure the room. They don't know if anyone else got in at that point. So he said, we will reschedule. But Congressman, I want to get your take on what you just heard from Senator Ron Johnson. He said it is imperative to fund DHS next week, Monday or Tuesday. He's looking for a vote, and he wants the House to agree to, even if you're just funding ICE and Customs and Border Patrol. Let's face it, the Secret Service last night secured President Trump. Even if there are questions this morning about how this person got into that hotel carrying those guns, but they have not been paid. Some of them have not been paid in 72 days right now, Congressman.
It's absolutely unacceptable, Maria, that the radical left has been filibustering the funding of the Department of Homeland Security for 72 days now. And you betcha, I agree with Senator Ron Johnson. We need to use every tool we possibly can. We need to be back in Washington on Monday or Tuesday, and I think it should be Monday. Pass the bills. There's a bill sitting over on the Senate side right now to fund all of Department of Homeland Security that's continued to be filibustered by the radical left Democrats. There's a bill in the House of Representatives that funds all of Department of Homeland Security except for ICE and Customs and Border Patrol. Let's at least start taking things off the table. Get it funded, move on. The Secret Service deserves to be paid for. The Coast Guard, FEMA, you name it, all of this should be funded.
The idea that we are in the middle of a war and the Department of Homeland Security is not fully open and funded is just extraordinary. Do you believe you have 100% support to do that from Republicans? Then what do you need, 6 or 7 Democrats?
You know, it's absolutely reckless that people aren't doing it. But in the Senate, without a doubt, all 53 Republicans will vote for it. They have consistently voted for it. We need 7 Democrats to join in. But you know what? I said this to you earlier this week, Maria. Like, if there is a lapse in government funding, if there's a lapse in government funding, that filibuster should go out the door and things should be passed with 51 votes. And that would incentivize every senator to come to the table, work together. But if they don't, the filibuster should be out the door in the times of a lapse of funding like we're in right now for the last 72 days.
So if you were to vote and have the support that you think you can get from Democrats, that would mean you don't need to do the reconciliation package specifically focused on this by June, right?
That's exactly right. If they would not filibuster the bill that's been sitting over in the Senate for weeks right now, that everything would be funded and there would be no need for that second reconciliation package. The second reconciliation package is only being used right now as a tool because the Democrats are preventing a vote for Department of Homeland Security because it funds border and customs and it funds ICE. They are battling and fighting more for illegal immigrants than they are U.S. citizens right now, which is not appropriate.
So how does this incident last night change the calendar and the schedule for this upcoming week then, Congressman?
I sure hope that the first priority is to put it back on the floor, pass the Department of Homeland funding, and I hope that people will do the right thing. You know, I want to say thank you to my fellow Democrat colleague from Washington State, Maria Perez, who tweeted out last night, would you stop trying to murder the President of the United States? We need more reasonable Democrats like that, Maria.
That's right. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks very much. We'll be following your work in the week ahead. Jason Smith joining us. And we continue our breaking news coverage this morning on the shooting at the White House Correspondents Dinner in just a moment. We'll take a break and be back on Sunday Morning Future. Stay with us.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.